Hello and welcome to the show. So we're going to start with, well, possibly one of the ultimate drag races. We have got an Ultima Aero, a Bugatti Veyron. Unfortunately, I don't have the SS DLC, so we're using the standard one. I also don't really like Veyrons very much. And a Coinseg Agera. Forza 4 made a weird decision in having just a normal Agera, not the Agera R. Not really sure why that is, but there we go. We're going to have a drag race between these three, sort of set things up a little bit for this video. As you can see, we try and sort of go three wide, which is a little bit tricky. Of course, the Veyron is the fastest off the line, not really surprising, it is four-wheel drive. The Agera actually has slightly better launch than the Ultima Aero, probably because it is less powerful. the Ultima Aero is the most powerful car here at 1,287 horsepower, which is a lot, and it's also by far the fastest as it is now already gone. That Aero is incredibly fast. I mean, I knew it was a quick car. All of these things are very, very fast cars. But that Ultima Aero is just gone. As we sort of come in towards the halfway stage, I guess, on this straight, and the Coinseg has now caught up, and there we go, it has got past the Bugatti Veyron. I was quite surprised by this result. I was amazed at how much faster that Ultima Aero is. I was amazed actually how slow the Veyron was. The Ultima Aero, I'm not sure about the Coinseg, but the Ultima Aero definitely maxed out. The Veyron was still accelerating when he got to the corner, and before he had to slow down because it's mental through there. Anyway, having seen that the Ultima Aero is by far the fastest of them three, it was now time for a real challenge. It is up against the Hennessey Venom GT. Another ridiculously powerful rear-wheel drive, I guess, hypercar. The Venom has 1,200 horsepower. It weighs a little bit less than the Ultima Aero, and this should be a very interesting drag race. Off the line, and there is much wheel spin and much sort of struggling to get the power down. As I said, both these cars have 1,200 horsepower or over, which means putting the power down in the low gears is somewhat difficult. Even my technique of launching cars doesn't really work very well with the Venom. Because it just sits there on wheel spins. But as you can see, it is slightly in the lead, not by much. I'm going to be honest, I was expecting the Venom to kind of walk this, but the Ultima Aero is still a very, very quick car. Ignore the Lamborghini, that will come in a minute. Yeah, as you can see, the Venom is leading, and it is the faster of the two. It is not by a huge amount, though. As you can see here, coming up towards the corner. These cars are doing about 263, I think, is what Forza reckons is the top speed of the Venom. Not sure about the Ultima Aero, I wasn't driving that one. Around the corner, the camera can't keep up because these cars go so fast through there. And then it's trying to sort of stop in time for the corner. Yeah, that's quite tricky. These are so ridiculously fast. Now, the reason why the Lamborghini was there is because I'm sure you want to see what a 260 mile an hour fly past is like. And be careful, don't blink, because they've got they are seriously fast cars through there. Yeah, you blink that one and you would have missed it. Okay, so we know that in a straight line and accelerating, the Venom is the faster of the two. However, what is it like when it comes to the track? Now, this is where things sort of fall apart for these speedrun cars, and this is the reason why I really don't like the Veyrons particularly. Okay, these cars are very hard to drive around the track. That's not really surprising. Okay, considering, well, this has got 1,200 horsepower. The Veyron SS has got 1,183, although I haven't driven it. I imagine it's very similar to the normal Veyron. Okay, the problem with these cars is just the speed. Well, the problem with these ones in particular is putting the power down is one problem in the rear-wheel drive cars, because there is so much of it. They just want to spin the wheels and go sideways everywhere. And the other problem with the likes of the Veyron is the speed. Okay, these cars accelerate stupidly fast. The Venom is 0 to 60 time is 2.7 seconds. 0 to 100 is 5 and a bit seconds. Okay, the most impressive statistic on this Venom, though, as I fall off the road, 0 to 200 takes 14 and a half seconds. That is ridiculous. That's stupidly fast. The Veyron SS, in real life I'm talking here, it is 22 seconds to 200. How much quicker the Venom is than the Veyron. If we had the Veyron to drag race, sure, it might have the launch, but I highly doubt it would beat this Venom. The Ultima Aero can't be much behind this car either, considering how close they were. And it's this speed that kind of gives these cars a problem. Okay, and it's really kind of trying to lose this speed when it gets to the corner. Okay, the Venom has very good brakes. Okay, it needs to, because of, well, how fast it is. The problem is, when you drive, say, a 458 Italia, you will brake at maybe the 100 metre board, maybe the 150 metre board if it's a very long straight. Like this first straight in the Road America circuit, you might brake at the 4 board or whatever they have here. Okay, the problem with this car and any of these speedrun cars is, if you see the boards, you have probably broke too late. Okay, because these cars will be doing 200, 220 in no time. and once you see the boards, because they're going so fast, the brakes don't have a chance to sort of slow them down. Okay, and that's kind of makes this very, very difficult to drive. However, this Venom only weighs 2,600 pounds. Okay, so the brakes don't have quite as much mass to slow down, which is why the brakes seem a little bit better on here. You look at the Veyron SS, 4,000 pounds. You're trying to slow down a 200 mile an hour, 220 mile an hour, 4,000 pound object. That is a lot of forces going through that car, and that is why the brakes on the Veyron, the standard Veyron, is very, very hard to drive that thing, because the brakes just can't cope with it because of how much it weighs and how fast it is. Also, don't like four-wheel drive because it doesn't handle very well. I have to say, this Venom, actual handling front, if you forget how early you have to brake because of the silly speeds, the Venom is quite good to drive. It's quite nice handling. A little bit of understeer on turnings, but it's fairly manageable. And putting the power down is tricky, but it's not as bad as well this. The Ultima Aero is another very tricky car to drive. It's very similar, to be honest, to the Venom. However, the Aero is not quite as refined as we fall off the track a little bit. That corner there is really nasty. It literally is a case on a lot of these corners, because this is a very long track, you can pick up some serious speed in these cars. If you've seen the braking boards, you're going to have a crash if you're not braking already, because, yeah, they are so fast. The Ultima Aero is definitely the harder of the two to drive. It's surprisingly understeery. That's not something I was expecting to say, but when you sort of turn in with this car, it is very, very understeery. And it just doesn't quite have the traction of the Venom. And neither of the cars are particularly easy to put any power down if you're running without traction control, because there is an awful lot of power. But on this one here, it's just not quite as good as in the Venom. Normally, if you get the Venom into third gear, it will still be spinning its wheels. In fourth, it's normally fairly good. In this, it will still be spinning in fourth gear if you're not careful. With practice, you can drive these things without being too mental. If we're going to have a look a bit at price now with these cars, the Venom costs 900,000 credits, which is quite a lot, I'm going to be honest. However, considering it is one of the fastest cars in the world, I would say that's pretty good. The Ultimate Aero is 1 million, I believe, so it's only a fraction more than the Venom. The Bugatti Veyron SS is 2.4 million credits. That is a big jump up from the Ultimate Aero and from the Hennessey Venom, and it's really not that much faster, I'm going to be honest. The normal Veyron is 1.4 million, and that thing's horrible to drive. I'm sorry if people like the Veyron, but that's just not a nice thing to drive, and it's not actually as quick. The Koenigsegg Agera, I believe, is 1.4 million, which is still quite a lot of money. Of all of these cars, of all of the sort of the hyper-speed, racy, top-speed cars, I would have the Venom. It is the cheapest. It is, well, not quite the fastest in a straight line, but definitely the easiest of the lot to handle. Maybe the Agera is a little bit easier, but it's not quite as fast or as powerful. However, I couldn't imagine trying to drive one of these on the road. Honestly, they are road legal. Would you want to? Well, maybe once, but I think you would scare yourself silly in one of these. You just have to touch the accelerator when you'd be doing 100 miles an hour, because that is just how fast these things are. They really are. I can't think of a better word to describe them than insane. If you haven't driven the Venom and you have the DLC, trust me, go drive it, and your sense of speed will be ruined, because it just picks up speed so fast. And the Ultimate Aero is very, very quick as well. The Aero is a little harder to drive. It's just quite a bit harder getting the power down. It's not quite as good in the corners. It's not surprising when you consider the Venom was sort of based on a Lotus Exige chassis. It's kind of stretched and reinforced. However, it is now time to hand, well, the Venom and the Ultimate Aero over to the Stig and see what lap times you can get out of it. I'm expecting this not to take very long, considering how powerful these cars are. However, they are going to be a little bit difficult around the corners. So, off the line, and you can see things are fairly even between the two of them. The Venom is a little bit quicker accelerating, so it's not surprising that as it comes up towards the first corner, it is slightly in the lead. Now, expectation-wise, both of these cars are R3. The Venom is a very high R3. The Ultimate Aero is a fairly low R3, or I think it might even be a mid R3. However, the lap time of these cars is going to be very difficult to predict, because while they are insanely fast in a straight line, they are not particularly good through the corners. So who knows what lap time we might be getting out of these. As we come up towards the hammerhead, we can see the Venom is actually pulling out quite a bit of a lead. It's just because it can put the power down much better as it comes out of the corner, whereas you have to wait a lot longer with that Ultimate Aero. In a straight line, both of them are fairly even, but it's just you can't get the power down as soon as you would like to in the Ultimate Aero. As you can see, as we come up towards the follow through, the Venom has pulled out a massive lead. It is very scary through that section there. It is ridiculous because these cars are so fast. You have to do a lot of braking. In fact, the Ultimate Aero is one of the few cars I've ever seen Stig have to brake with as he goes through the tyres because it's so fast and quite understeery. As we come up towards the second to last corner now, the Venom's already gone round it just as the Ultimate Aero arrives. Around the last corner, the Venom is slightly thrown across the line and the Ultimate Aero crosses the line a bit later. Now, as you can see, the Venom is quite considerably faster than the Ultimate Aero. However, people at home, have a guess. What time do you reckon the Venom and the Ultimate Aero got? Leave it in the comments. Don't cheat. I know you cheated in the last video. I saw people. You were cheating. Have a guess. I'd love to know what time you reckon that Venom did. You could see that it was quite a bit quicker than the Ultimate Aero, but how will it compare to the rest of our leaderboard? Well, the Hennessey Venom did a lap time of 1 minute 11.0. That's ridiculous. Just stupid speed. That's 1.1 seconds faster than the Mosler. The Ultimate Aero, by the way, did a 1:13.4, which is just 0.1 of a second faster than Coed Agera. Still pretty damn impressive lap time. That Venom, I honestly, I mean, I expected the Mosler to be the fastest car we had, and I didn't expect very much to be able to beat it. Maybe the Gumper, maybe the Ultima, the Radical, but that's kind of barely road legal. I just did not expect that Venom to be so fast, especially not that much faster than it either. It really is an insane car, and I really do recommend you go drive it if you haven't yet, because it's brilliant. I love it, but it is scary as anything. Anyway, that is it for this rivalry. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to leave your suggestions in the comments section, and we will have a look through them, we'll pick our favourites for next week's rivalry. So yes, that is it. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.